Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, back again, your favorite gooner, and of course, the one, the only, the magnificent Matt. You telling me, my guy?
I am doing well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Obviously, people, we don't usually go live on Wednesdays, and we've missed a couple of sessions. Just to let you know, disclaimer that that's purely my man's fault. That's nothing to do with me. I've been here, so I don't want any negativity coming towards me. If you need his number, I can provide his number. You can send your texts, your death threats.
Imagine, man,
So,
man is just gonna throw the teammate under the bus, bro. Moving like CR7 out here, man. Moving like CR7.
so yeah, guys. Obviously, he doesn't respect me. I don't respect him. Not joking. But nah, big man thing. We'll get into the Ronaldo um, chicken and chips in a bit. Still, for now, we're gonna quickly run over the predictions we did last time. A while ago, though, people, it was the Carabao Cup fixtures last Wednesday. We had Arsenal and Brighton. So we know Brighton came out 3-1 winners. Matt predicted Arsenal to win 2-1. I didn't think we was going to win that game, and I only put a draw because I wanted to stay positive. I knew we was not winning that game. I knew we was going to play a weak side, and Brighton. I know Brighton didn't play their best team, but they're just a very well organized team, and their second team is better than our second team, but it's clear. So none of us got the points on that one. Is what it is. Forest Spurs. Matt said 1-0 Forest. I said 3-1 Spurs. Obviously, Forest won 2-0. I'm not even gonna talk about Spurs, but I don't care, man. Take your point, bro. Like Spurs are a joke, man. Absolute joke of a team. Um, the Liverpool derby. Matt said 3-0. I said 2-1 derby. And listen, yeah, it went to 0-0. So obviously we both flopped. But derby, bro. I know Liverpool played a weak team, but I'm telling you, bro, derby could have had that one.
Mm.
Could have had that one still. But is what it is. Is what it is. City Chelsea. Obviously, City won that game 2-0 in the end. Chelsea did play better, and that had that young player. I think his name was Hall or something. I can't,
Oh
not
yeah, the
sure.
left back. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple. Oh, he had a chance. He could have scored. He played quite well, I thought, um, as well. But obviously, City won 2-0. I said 2-0. You said 2-1. So I'll give you the point. But
But you get free.
took the three. But because you got a point earlier, I've only gained 2 points on you. So and I believe you was 7 points ahead. So you're 5 points ahead now going into the break.
Wait. So I got 2 points this week. I got 2 points. You got three.
Ah? Oh yeah. Because okay, so six
Yeah, because
points.
I,
So
I
six
got
points.
the result, just not the scoreline.
Yeah.
And then there's United.
Yeah. Obviously. Um, what was the score? Villa won. Oh no. United
You
won.
won 4-2.
Yeah. Villa won 4-2. No, United won 4-2. So you said 2-0 United. I said 1-1. So you got the point again,
So
which
I get
puts
the
you back.
point again. So it's 3-3 for that midweek.
Waste man. Minor. I'm gonna go into the World Cup break. I'm gonna regroup. I'm gonna say and talk to the lads. We'll come back with stronger predictions and we'll get the title in it. Don't watch that. Don't watch that. But no, bro, there's so much to talk about. We've missed a couple of weeks of action. We'll quickly run over the last fixtures and results of the Prem top six before the break. We'll start with the West team in London. So Spurs. I actually watched that game against Leeds. Um, that was a cracking game. That was obviously Leeds took the lead 3 times, but Spurs took the lead when it mattered most, and they won the game. To be fair, Leeds defense was shocking, man. It was shocking. Um, Spurs they played all right. They didn't play amazing. Leeds made it easier for them. Leeds should have put the game to bed, man. Kept allowing Spurs to get back in it. I know Spurs are at home, but disappointed in Leeds, man. Because if I remember correctly, when we played against Leeds, like I thought they were the more composed, more of a threat. But yeah, man, the floodgates open to Spurs still. They bust it wide open, man. So yeah, Spurs managed to get the 3 points. I think they needed those 3 points as well because things have been going tough for them lately. Um, and I think that meant they managed to stay in the top four for the winter break as well, which is important. The World Cup break, whatever you want to call it. Probably the most least anticipated World Cup there's ever been in the history of football. But yeah, moving on to let's go Chelsea, Newcastle. I was very convinced Newcastle would get that win. Last time Newcastle lost at home was last season to Liverpool. I mean, they don't lose at home like that. Eddie Howe's done bits with that team. Yeah, and they got the win. Willock, my guy, doing bits, man. Love to see it. Chelsea are in the mud. Chelsea are in the mud right now, and you can't say that they haven't spent enough p, whether that's managerial changes or players. What's your take on Chelsea, man? What do they need right now?
I think with Chelsea, right now, it's a bit weird to me because although it's clear to see that um, Graham Potter still hasn't found his best 11, his most balanced 11, and they're not really moving the ball well. Every time a Chelsea player gets on the ball, it's almost like there's no one is able to make themselves available to receive the ball. So the person on the ball always ends up being stuck on it, and then eventually ends up losing it. But one thing I will say though, and like I mean, it's obvious to see their attack too hasn't been good. There's been no cohesiveness amongst the players so far. But one
Trust.
thing I will say though is defensively, as mad as it sounds, Chelsea still don't concede very many chances. Watching the Newcastle game on Saturday, similar to the Arsenal game, similar to the United game. I mean, against Brighton, to be fair, they did, but I could argue a lot of those, chances that they conceded against Brighton were sort of self-inflicted. But they don't actually concede that many sort of clear-cut chances. Newcastle, it took a really brilliant goal for Newcastle to win the game. It took a very sort of dodgy corner for Arsenal to win the game. We didn't look like scoring until the sort of last 5-10 minutes when we completely threw the kitchen sink at the game because we were chasing it. So the defense, dare I say it, hasn't been that bad. They actually sort of contain teams well, um, although they're not playing well as a team. So that's probably the most concerning thing, considering one of the main sort of aspects of Graham Potter's Brighton team was in the way they were able to move the ball so effortlessly through from defense into attack. So that's probably sort of the main area of concern for him right now. The midfield, just to answer your question regarding what they need, the midfield looks shot. Um, I don't think he's found his sort of best combination in that midfield. Obviously, Kante's injured, so he's not been playing. Loftus Cheek has been in and out, not played well when he's been in. Gallagher looks a bit like a deer in headlights, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Doesn't really seem to have found his sort of niche at Chelsea. Mason Mount, he's played Mason Mount in midfield. He's played him out wide. He's played him as an inverted attacker. It hasn't really seemed to work out for him. Sterling, who in my opinion wasn't playing amazing under Tuchel, has worse under Graham Potter. Dare I say it? He's played him at wing back, him and Pulisic at wing back, which I don't really understand. Broha, who he's brought in for Aubameyang at times, he doesn't look the same as he looked last season for Southampton. Aubameyang looks like he doesn't want to be there. Aubameyang actually looks like he doesn't want to be there. Like, no, seriously, Aubameyang looks like someone who was literally forced out of Barcelona to come to Chelsea. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. So right now, I don't really see where the team is going in the midfield and in the attack. But in the defense, considering the injuries that they've had, they're not doing badly.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, it's probably a good reflection when you do look at the score lines of their results. But it's like, yeah, as you said, they're lacking in the midfield, especially creative wise. Their creativity is poor. Um, Junior Watson said Chelsea are dead. Of course, tried to say so at Arsenal, but Arsenal top of the league, my guy. So if we're dead, what does that make everyone else? I said, what? Burn that Arsenal top. You're wasting your money, mate. This top has seen a trophy sooner than your team has, my guy. The last
Who,
time your team won a trophy, bro, I was still living in nuts. I wasn't even a dad. So
who does Gina support?
a lot's changed. He's a United fan still. That's why he's not right in the head. Um, but yeah, going back to Chelsea, yeah, for me, bro, their midfield situation, I think needs the most addressing. To be fair, they're lacking up front as well. I remember I seen one tweet one Chelsea fan was saying, "I can't believe we have a front three of Berger, Mount, and Gallagher. I want to support Arsenal now." Like it got that deep still, and I was deep, and I was like, "That is actually a terrible front three." Um, and I know a lot of people are rushing onto part saying, "Oh, he was a small fish and he's not ready for this lifestyle, and the club's too big for him." Da, 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 blah blah blah. But my man, he's not played that many games. He started off his first 7 games quite well. He's got a lot of injuries to deal with. He's got a lot of injuries to deal with, and he's trying to make the best out of the teams. There's going to be players that are going to play in positions where you probably wouldn't play them there, but he's kind of got no choice. Um, I don't know. I sympathize for Potter. I don't think Potter's the problem here.
You know the
Uh,
thing that what I think one thing that sort of goes underrated in football is pressure, and what I mean by that is a lot of managers who overachieve with a group of players who aren't sort of seen to be spectacular. Those managers receive a lot of plaudits. In fact, they receive in some cases more plaudits than managers who have good players and still win. But what isn't factored in is the pressure that a manager that has good players at a big team is under to win. And that pressure matters. And the problem for Potter now is he's come from a club in Brighton where he was clearly overachieving. There aren't many players in that Brighton squad that any team or any fan of any team in the top six would take. But now he's at Chelsea where trophies are an expectation. Winning
Winning every
is
game
an
is the
expectation.
expectation.
Huh?
As a Chelsea fan, you expect to win every single game you play.
Exactly. And the main sort of concern for him is those first couple of games that he won were against, if we're being real, teams that were struggling. And even then, a lot of those victories were not convincing. The Crystal Palace one of the dodgiest victories I've ever seen. The Aston Villa one, Kepa literally turned into prime David De Gea that day. So some of those wins were a bit dubious. And now that he started to play much better teams that are either around them or just below them, they've started to drop points. That is, of course, for concern.
No, I hear that. Let's got a couple of chats here from Junior. He said, Matthew, you support Newcastle? Shush.
I don't know where you got that one from, bro.
He must have heard you bigging them up in the previous episode still.
No, but you have to give a team credit where it's due, man.
I hear that. He also said, Kylie, when's the last time you won a treble or won the season? Bro, of course, it's been a minute, innit? But right now, bro, you can't chat to me. You get me? Like, man's enjoying the football right now, my guy. No, don't be living in the past. You're doing up Liverpool still. Talking about the past and that. I'm not bothered about all that. Anyway, yeah, we'll leave Chelsea there. We'll leave the Chelsea fans to stress about that over the winter break. Probably thinking the thing is, Chelsea fans will be like, "Oh, we need to sign this, bro." You've spent P, man. But
They've spent
then
so much
again,
money, bro.
then again, though, they've spent P, but the recruitment's been. I don't think it has been the best. I feel like, especially with Roman leaving, I do feel like they just went for names, the big names that they know about, rather than finding players that could actually have would actually fit the game plan of Potter and etc. Obviously, they didn't. I don't know. I just feel like when what's his name, Kate? What's his name? The owner, Brady or something.
Todd Bowley,
Brad
yeah.
Burley, yeah, whatever. I don't. He because I know there was no recruitment staff in, so I knew it was going to be the Koulibalys, Sterling, the big names in it. I know they were trying to get Govardio as well. They're just going for names. They weren't really going for like players that were a bit more under the radar but have the ability and that would be much cheaper. So that's why when rival fans look at it, they see you spending 200 million in the transfer window, and they see you struggling in the league, and they're gonna laugh. You know what I mean? I don't think the money was spent, but the recruitment was poor. But we'll leave Chelsea. We'll leave Chelsea. There's a lot of things to talk about today. We'll dive right into Liverpool. Trying to remember their last result.
It was against
Uh,
Southampton, 3-1.
Southampton. Yeah. Didn't expect Southampton to do much. Obviously, they've recently sacked man like Ralph. Uh, was it Ralph? Was it Ralph or Ralph?
Ralph Hasenhuttl, yeah.
Yeah, Ralph. I thought he was a good coach. It's a shame it didn't work out for him. But I rate Southampton because they gave him adequate time, and then my man suffered 2 9-0 losses, bro, and it's still
You,
it's
you
still
know
rode with him.
that's funny, but historically in the past sort of 1 or 2 seasons, he's always found a way to turn it around,
That's true.
and that's why he had the credit in the bank where they believed they could give him time, but unfortunately this time around,
Yeah, I think it gets to a certain point where you're just riding your luck a bit too much, and
mm,
they had to make that decision to because the club they're in the relegation zone now. They're not playing nice football. They're getting beat quite easily. They've had one good performance this season. That was against us when they managed to get a point. Apart from that, they've been pretty awful. So yeah, I do feel like it was the right time for change. Who do you think is a good shot for that vacancy?
oh, that's tough, because whenever a team decides to sack a manager and they're looking to hire a new one, you always need to think about what is sort of culture of the club, which manager fits into that, which manager is available that fits into that. Ooh, see, because the managers that are available, such as I think Rafa Benitez is available, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah,
But they wouldn't
Rafa
hire
gives me joy.
they, they wouldn't hire Benitez.
No, I can't see them going, but I think they're gonna look forward. I think they're gonna look for someone young still.
I I mean I I've heard people say Gerard. I don't think they will hire Gerard. Gerard,
Ooh, that's a risk.
yeah, I don't think Gerard. I don't think Gerard's time at Aston Villa was good enough for him to warrant a third job with a team in the ilk of Southampton. Not to say that Southampton's the biggest team, but
Mm.
I just don't think I don't think his the Rangers stint and the time at Aston Villa would qualify him for for Southampton job yet at this point. Um, I don't know. That would be interesting to see. Mm, who do you think?
Not really that managers like that in the market right now. I'll be honest with you. Like, no one really comes to mind. Like, who I think is either good enough to
I'm
take
sure. I'm sure
Southampton.
Scott Parker might want it. In fact, he probably will want it. But I don't know if I don't think they'd hire him either.
I don't think they'll hire him because, especially because Boom, as soon as he left, Bournemouth even started playing better. I don't think that helps his case.
I mean, to be fair, that there's context to that though. He had a rough set of fixtures before he left.
No, of course, he did. But on paper, it just looks like they improved without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what the people say. Let us know what you think, guys. Who should replace? Well, he's already gone now, but who should take charge of Southampton? Talking about managers, someone said to me that they feel David Moyes is next to get sacked. West Ham
That is
struggling right now. They're in
that that
16th.
that is not that's not beyond the realms of possibility. And I think we've spoken about David Moyes here on the show, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it seems like, and I don't want to put this narrative out there without being sort of fully informed or having enough evidence, but what it is starting to seem like is whenever, just as I was talking about expectations and pressure, whenever that is present in his managerial situation, he doesn't always seem to rise to the challenge of that. And I think with the summer transfer window that West Ham had, with the amount of money they spent, and with the profile of the players that they brought in this summer, you would expect them to have pushed on, or um, you'd expect them to have even been better than they were last season. And last season they were very good. So for the fact that he's still not been able to figure it out right now is also a cause for concern. Whether West Ham will have the patience, whether he's earned the credit in the bank from last season, um, for to that would enable West Ham to sort of decide to give him a bit more time. That's
Mm.
still that's a question that needs to be answered. But I think the reason why teams don't want to give managers time is because they don't want the situation to get so dire to the point where they're in a ditch, and a manager that they may want to replace the manager that's currently in position may refuse to come to the or to may refuse the job because he feels like he's been put in a disadvantaged position. So I think that's why a lot of teams, just when they feel like the boat is sinking, they'll just pull the trigger straight away.
No, I hear that. I hear that. I mean, if I'm the board of West Ham now, I'm probably giving him, after the World Cup, I'm probably going to give him January.
Mm,
I'm saying I need at least, if for example there's 6 matches in January, I'm saying I need at least 4 wins here. Things need to turn around because West Ham are playing Europa League, but they're 16th in the league. It's not a fair reflection of the talent in the squad. And they did add in the summer. They got Skamaka as well. And they got that midfielder. What his name?
Paqueta.
Yeah, Paqueta. So like they did add as well. They added to the quality, and they didn't really get rid of anyone where you'll notice a difference in the squad. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So the drop off for West Ham's been massive, man. And this is the West Ham of 4 or 5 years ago that we remember, to be honest. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Leicester are turning their season around, so see if West Ham can do the same. But back to the top six. Um,
Liverpool.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Liverpool.
just a quick word on Liverpool.
Yeah, man.
I think we've began to sort of notice a trend in their games. They look really up for it in the first half of games, and after half time in the second half, they completely fall off. It's almost like they don't have the capacity to maintain the level of intensity that they bring to a game in the first half. And that was exactly the same. That was exactly the case in the Southampton game. Southampton arguably could have easily been 3-3 in the second half. Allison pulled off once again some tremendous saves 1v1 that spared Liverpool's blushes. First half they were brilliant. First half they were brilliant. Nunes, Firmino, Robertson, Elliot, they were brilliant first half. Second half, bro, it's like, and this is why I still don't believe Liverpool can be in the title race, even though City drop points, which we'll get to. But I just don't see it. I don't see that sort of the lack of performance in the second half. I can see them paying for it constantly when the season returns.
Do you think they're going to add in January?
See, Liverpool are unpredictable, and obviously we've heard about the statement that FSG, the Fenway Sports Group, that which are Liverpool's owners, that they released, I think, last week, which I think basically signaled that they are sort of open to investment. So I think they're open to
Yeah, yeah, man. They're selling up shop.
selling the share of Liverpool, which to be fair doesn't necessarily guarantee that they still won't be sort of the majority shareholders in the club. Um, but I guess they're just sort of admitting that they could do it with more money. Now, obviously, depending on how that situation sort of transpires, will determine how much the level of funds that Liverpool have to spend in January. Because historically, they don't. I mean, they've bought Van Dijk in January before, but that was after selling Coutinho for the large amount that they sold him for. Um, there was a January where the season that they had so many injuries, they brought in some horrible signings. Like I think they brought in some guy called Ben Davis from Derby County or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
who didn't end
I
up
thought it
playing.
was the Spurs Ben Davis were hot
Yeah,
take.
I thought it was the Spurs Ben Davis as well.
I was thinking that's an awful signing. What is that?
It's
And then it got even
bro,
worse. My man from Hull.
imagine you imagine you heard Ben Davis, you thought it was the Spurs one. You're thinking, oh, that's a very average signing, and then it turns out to be some Ben Davis from Derby or something. That was like, that was funny. And then they brought in Kabak, who I think plays for Norwich now from Schalke on loan, and he just never looked up to it. So that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was a
yeah.
horrible January for them. But then last season they brought in Diaz. Now the rumors are they only brought him in January because they feared that Spurs would sign him, and they wanted to get him in the summer. So once they heard that Spurs
Oh,
were
I
trying
see,
to
I
sign
see,
him
I
in
see.
January, they kind of had to act fast and pull the trigger on that signing. So I guess we'll
Okay,
see.
that
I
makes
don't
sense.
know
That
though.
makes
I
sense.
don't know.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. Me personally, I think they have to, man. I think they're gonna see that. They're gonna sit down and reflect on the first quarter. You could say it's not really a half yet of the season, or the first third maybe, and say, no, we gotta do something. But do they have the P? That's the question.
Mm.
Do that's so. If they were to invest in the squad, what sort of positions are you saying? Obviously, we know the midfield is probably the priority, but is there any other positions that you think could do with a little, maybe a cover or upgrade?
I think the funniest thing with Liverpool is everybody knows it's not it's not a secret that they need strengthening in the midfield. But the funniest thing about it is, do you know how many midfielders Liverpool already have? Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho, Elliot, Curtis Jones, Carvalho, Oxlade Chamberlain, Keita. That's 8 midfielders. And I think I
Yeah,
mentioned
but
Milner. That's
yeah, but
9 midfielders.
out of those nine midfielders, yeah, which one gets into that City's team, City starting 11?
I know the obvious person would say it's Thiago, but I don't even know if he will, to be fair. Like, honestly. But 9 midfielders. If I'm Klopp, or let's say the I don't know, let's say the director of football or whoever is in charge of whoever is in charge of like the funds or whatever, or the recruitment. If Klopp comes and says I need a midfielder, I'll be like, well, which one do you want to let go of? And this is where Klopp has to sort of stand up and answer these questions, because Klopp never he seems to be the type of person that always sort of strays away from saying who sort of needs to leave. He doesn't like to sort of say or admit when a player needs to sort of go. He seems to be very sort of he seems to be very timid in that aspect. So people need to go. It's not just as simple as bringing in another midfielder, because if you bring he brought in Arthur, by the way. And I didn't even put Arthur in the count that I just did.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And,
10.
and I told you when they signed Arthur, it had the Nuri Sahin's smell all over it, and that's exactly what it's been. He's not kicked a ball. I think he came on against Everton in earlier in the season, but I've not seen him on the pitch besides that. So it's all well and good to say they need a midfielder, but who needs to go? That also needs to be addressed
He
as
needs to
well.
go, bro. I tell you,
Um,
he needs to go.
who?
Every single player,
Every single midfielder.
they need to go. Ox, Ox gets Ox just gets injured. He might as well play Mortal Kombat. Oh, everyday fatality. Um, Henderson wheelchair, Milner Zimmer frame, Curtis Jones. I don't think he's good enough. Elliot not good enough yet. Arthur not good enough. Thiago good enough, but getting on. We didn't even say Fabinho, bro.
Did I not?
That
I mean, yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's not been great.
Declining.
Yeah,
It's not looking good, bro. Not midfield, man. And this is a Liverpool team who are known for the midfield. Like, obviously they're known for Salah and Mane and Firmino, but they're also known for that midfield. You know, Fabinho, Henderson. Um, it became Thiago before it was either your Milner or your Ox or your Keita. Like those games thrown in, but surprisingly, I genuinely don't think I because of what's been happening, based off names, yeah, you'd want Fabinho, you want Thiago, man, you want them man in the team, but yeah, based off current form and the trajectory where things are going, I'd rather have Partey over Fabinho,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'd have Thiago over Shaka, but then I'd have Odegaard over any other midfielder that Liverpool would offer.
But see, even then, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from Thiago, but in the role that Xhaka is sort of fulfilling now, in the way Arsenal have set up, when you guys are in possession, you guys pretty much play a 4-1-4-1, and Xhaka and Odegaard pretty much split, and
Yeah, yeah,
Xhaka is
yeah.
almost like a very advanced sort of an advanced Roman sort of midfielder. Thiago, like Xhaka is scoring goals. Would Thiago score goals? Like, so
I
I
hear you, but he
because
just adds
one thing.
Thiago just adds that extra bit of creativity in it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. And to be fair, one thing you spoke about Liverpool's midfield before when like they had Wijnaldum and Henderson and Milner and all of them. One thing that people always said about their midfield was they never got any goals from midfield, and I think that's intentional. The team is not built for that. I remember the season they won the league, um, when we had to shut down because of COVID,
Mm.
and on Sky Sports they were doing those quizzes with Martin Tyler and Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville and stuff. I remember one of the questions that Martin Tyler asked Jamie Carragher was, after the front three, so Salah, Mane, and Firmino, who's Liverpool's next top goal scorer? And I remember Carragher thinking, "Ooh, they don't get much goals from midfield. It's Van Dijk," and it was Van Dijk with 4 goals. Liverpool's midfield has never been Liverpool's midfield has never been a midfield. The system is not built really for or it hasn't been built um in the last 4 or 5 years for the players to really score goals like that. The goals have
No,
really
I hear
come
that.
from the forwards, and the assists come from the forwards and the fullbacks. Now, the interesting thing is, I think with bringing in players like Carvalho and Elliot, they're more sort of progressive midfielders. So I would think that's Klopp trying to sort of evolve in a way.
Mm, 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 mm.
Maybe he's trying. Maybe with the addition of Nunes now, who's more of an like a traditional out and out nine, and the addition of Carvalho and Elliot, who are more sort of advanced midfielders. Maybe that is Klopp's way of, or maybe Klopp is indicating that he's sort of trying to change the system slightly.
We've noticed the system changing over the years because it was very before it was very direct and high intense.
Mm,
Liverpool didn't really care about possession too much, but we've noticed over the last couple of years they've started to slow down the tempo a bit more, control the ball a bit more. It's not as you know direct football. Before you knew what to expect. You knew what to expect: high press, direct football at you all for the 90 minutes. But now it's quite, I won't say conservative, but it's definitely more in the reserve now than has been in the last 4 or 5 years. Obviously, you could argue and say, well, they're aging, they're getting on, or it might be due to experience, or Klopp might genuinely have tried to change things, try and adjust because you can't just do the same thing ever and ever and expect it to work. But we have noticed that there's been a change of the game plan. For me, though, I just feel
yeah,
like I was just gonna say, for me, though, I just feel like if you're doing the attacking midfielders, advanced midfielders, sorry, I just don't feel like Fabinho can hold it down like he used to at the moment, and that's why
yeah,
Liverpool get easy to get out at the moment as well. That's why we're seeing Van Dijk getting exposed a little bit, and Arnold as well.
yeah. And I think also as well, in regards to your point about like the way they play, I think when you bringing in Thiago, because if you remember when they really started to sort of progress under Klopp, their problems they were experiencing the same problems they're experiencing now. They in the first 25, 30 minutes of games, they would blow teams off the floor.
Exactly.
They would blow teams out of the stadium if they're high intensity and high press. But then in the second half, they would fade. But then when they started to bring in guys like Fabinho, and they what they were able to do was they were able to control games better. So they weren't just sort of running around for trying to run around for the whole game. They could pick their spots, and then when you bring in players like Thiago, that cements that even more. Now the problem is the players that used to have the ability to sort of press with a certain level of intensity, those players are now getting old. So now all you have is players who don't have the legs anymore trying to press with the same intensity as they used to. Plus, you still have the players like Thiago and Fabinho who are the more conservative, sort of like reserved players who are still trying to play the ball and move the ball around. So you know, I think it's mileage.
I said mileage. You're mocking me.
The legs aren't the same, bro. The wheels are falling off.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Obviously, guys, we've spoken about Liverpool long enough now, probably longer than intended. What does that leave us with? City. We'll brief over City quick. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not convinced City have that many fans that want to hear chat about City. Um, but yeah, they lost to Brentford, man. Um, as an Arsenal fan, I'm gassed, but like the 5 point gap. I know City will inevitably win the league, but the um the 5 point gap was nice, real nice. Uh, Tony, man, should have been in the England squad, bro. Um,
I mean,
he's
we need to talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, man. He could have had 3 or 4 actually. Um, but yeah, man, City's performances the last 4 or 5 games not been up to par, not been up to scratch. I'll be real. Struggled against Fulham. I know they were down to 10. Who did they play for that again as well? Who did they play for again? I can't remember, man. I just know it wasn't a convincing winners again.
In the Premier League or just in general.
I was in the Prem. It was before the Fulham game. I'm not too sure, but yeah, the last 3 4 games that I've watched them play, they haven't been the same City that I'm expecting to see. Uh, it's interesting, interesting.
Oh,
We'll
it
see
was
what
Leicester.
happens. Leicester, yeah, Leicester. They had to wait. They needed a special free kick from De Bruyne to even
Yeah.
get them the 3 points. Unless this is a Leicester team that's had the last compared to the last 3 4 years, the worst start for them. So it is a bit like a good thing to see as an Arsenal fan. But at the same time, we know Pep's just elite in it, and he'll reassess and come back 5 times hard. So I don't see them
Yeah.
acquiring any new talent in January unless it's like on the cheap, like a 2 3 million pound young prospect. I don't really see them splashing out cash on their squad at the moment. What was you gonna say?
I mean, I keep on sort of harping on the point with City. The only area that they have depth in is centre back. They have Laporte, Stones, Diaz, Ake, and Akanji. That's the only area in their team that they have depth. They don't have depth at fullback. They've got Walker, Cancelo, and Sergio Gomez. Only three. That's why they're having to play Stones at right back right now. In midfield, they've only got Rodri, Bernardo, and Gundogan. And over here, Calvin Phillips. I forgot about him. Okay, so to be fair, in midfield, they're not bad. But in attack, they have, Grealish and Mahrez. But once again, they need a goal, and Pep doesn't feel confident in bringing them on. That is a
Mm.
huge problem against Brentford. Pep does not feel like he can bring on Grealish or Mahrez to change the game. That's
You
a
should have put
huge
on
problem.
Grealish though.
I don't even know. Literally, I was watching the game and I was thinking the camera sort of panned to Grealish and Mahrez on the bench, and I was actually thinking, you know what? I don't think either of them should come on. I don't know what either of
No, I
them can
agree.
add because
Bernardo
I
Silva's pointless on the wing, in my opinion. And I think Grealish would add something to that game. He just okay, he's not getting goals and assists, but He's gonna get the ball. He's gonna take players out. He's gonna drag players out of positions. He's more likely to make things happen now. I
But
think Jack Grealish should have came on
but 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 even Bernardo on the right though. So if Grealish comes on, are you playing Grealish on the right then?
on the left.
So you're moving who to the right?
Foden will go right.
Foden. But even Foden on the right, that's still sort
Foden
of.
on the right. Foden on the right. Grealish on the left would be more of a threat than Bernardo on the right. Foden on the left. Bernardo. I don't see Bernardo as a winger, man.
Anymore.
They needed Bernardo. They needed Bernardo's high energy in the midfield. That's what they needed. Because Gundogan and De Bruyne, they're too alike. They'll slow
I don't.
things down. They'll spread passes.
I don't
Bernardo's a
know.
bit more high intense. You got to think quickly because he's gonna get the ball. He's even gonna take you on really quickly. He's gonna drive at you, or he's gonna play a 1-2. With De Bruyne and Gundogan, you could kind of relax a bit and wait. Yeah, De Bruyne does have his bursting runs at times, but it's not consistent like that.
I hear that, but for me, Gundogan is important. I think Gundogan, like,
No, I'm not saying he's not important. But I'm just thinking if you're playing Gundogan and De Bruyne, then you need to put on Bernardo. If you have Rodri and that's three slowish midfielders in that sense.
well, but that's the thing though. It's not like the midfield, because they're gonna control the game anyway. That's probably the game that you need all of the midfielders to be playing. It's when the game is stretched. That's when you might think, okay, Gundogan and De Bruyne probably would have worked. But when the other team is literally going to camp in their own half while City try and open them up, that's when you need Gundogan and De Bruyne on the
Yeah, but
pitch at the same time.
three of them are all trying to pick out that pass though. Bernardo is not trying to pick out that pass. He's trying to take man on and
Well, to
open
be fair,
spaces.
Bernardo not really. Bernardo not really. Bernardo tries to just move with the ball past players, and he had a few of those on
Exactly.
Saturday. But
I feel like they needed that
the
on
end
Saturday
product just
in the midfield, not out wide.
maybe. But the problem
Bro,
is
Brentford could have
I
slapped them.
can't. I can't lie. Yeah, but that's playing on the break though. I can't lie. Like they
The results, the
Grealish for
result.
no. But as in, you said Brentford could have slapped them, but that, like, I think it was, to be fair, Tony's second chance came after he already scored the second goal, which was basically when City had pretty much given up on the game. But when for me, when I've seen Grealish for City, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't look great. Like, he doesn't look good. He
Nah, I disagree
doesn't.
with that. I disagree with that.
He doesn't.
He might not get goals and assists, but I can't lie. He brings the
Nah, but
heat.
I'm
He
not
gets the
even.
ball up the pitch. He creates space. He makes chances. I can't lie. He does more. He's more of a threat on the wing than Bernardo, bro. I'm sorry.
No, but I don't even know. I don't even know if I even fully agree with that. Like, I don't know,
Wait, did
man.
Grealish make the squad?
Huh?
Did he make the World Cup squad?
Yeah, he did. He did. But
With
I don't
no,
know.
with one.
And also
He made the
another
World
thing.
Cup squad with one goal, by the way. And Tony can't get in.
Yeah, but it's different positions. But
Different
I think
positions, bro. You took Wilson.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I think with City as well, another thing as well that I noticed against Brentford, it seemed to me like they they just needed Haaland to score. Like, it is, if Haaland doesn't score, it's like no one else can function or no one else can do anything else. Like, they just seem to be trying to pick him out every single time, and it did get predictable. So, like I told you before, the depth in attack isn't there. They haven't they haven't got what they had previously. I've always said when they had their front three of Sterling, Sane, and Aguero, that was, or even Jesus in Aguero's place, that was the most complete that they've had. With what they have now, with Foden, Haaland, and Mahrez and Grealish, it's not exactly balanced, and especially the fullback, the full having. I think you're right in the sense of Bernardo over, I mean, Grealish on the wing instead of Bernardo. But I think what affects that right hand side is the fact that they're playing John Stones at right back, and he's not a right back. So, you know,
No, I hear that. I hear that. But yeah, moving on from City, we're gonna chop up United real quick. You guys' last Prem game was a win. I watched that game still over Fulham. Lucky guys, man. Lucky guys, bro. That game could have went either way. I'll be real. United could have put that game to bed. Fulham could have scraped it. But no, it was a decent watch. Decent watch. I predicted 2-1 actually. To Fulham. Um, but United guy Ganacho, man, you little young savior, man, saved you in the cup. He's coming out and saving man in the league, you know. But people need to just calm down a little bit. It's going a bit too. Man, don't want to. We keep overhyping these players, and then when they don't start doing certain things, we're like, oh, they're falling off or they're dead. Man, let's just relax a bit and see what happens. Cause he's young. He's gonna have that burst of energy and pace, and yeah, he might, get that goal or, that assist in the cup was class. Though, I'll give him that. But I do feel like we should just relax a little bit. A couple people getting a bit too hasty with it, and we'll see what he can do. But I like him. I think he's class for his age. Um, but yeah, we'll see what comes from that. Still, what's your? I know you watched the game, so how did you feel about the game? Deserves to win, yeah.
To be fair, the game was actually. I mean, my brother's an Arsenal fan, and he really enjoyed the game. The game was a very good watch for a neutral. Um, I honestly did not expect Fulham to be so expansive. I know I've watched them. I've watched Fulham this season, but I
Mm.
didn't think they'd be so expansive for the whole game. Like they were trying to not just win the ball when they didn't have it, but when they had the ball, they were trying to play through us. Played out the back brilliantly a couple of times in the game as well. However, in the first half, whenever we got the ball and managed to knit two, three passes together, we always looked like
Yeah, you
scoring.
was in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We always looked like scoring. We should have killed the game. Ericsson
McTominay should have
probably should
killed
have
the
had
game.
two goals in the first half.
I don't know how McTominay is missing that header still.
McTominay had a chance in the second half. Martial had a chance in the first half that almost went through Leno's legs, but luckily, he managed to pull off a decent save.
That's because
We should
Marshall
have killed
shot
it.
it.
Huh?
That's because Marshall shot it.
He shot it. What do you mean?
Yeah, if it was any other player that's going in, but because it's the Marshall curse, it's not going in.
I don't know what that means. I'll pretend like I didn't hear that.
The Marshall
But
curse. No double digits in the season. That's the curse.
but then he's had that like three times.
Time ago, but it doesn't happen anymore though. The last 3 seasons, it ain't happened, bro.
It was 2 seasons ago that he got it.
2 seasons ago, he got double digits.
Yeah.
That's cap. That is cap.
Yes. 1920.
That's not 2 seasons ago, though.
That's what.
Oh no, it is. No, because we're in 22, 23 now. That's 3 seasons ago.
I mean, but this season is not finished though, so
But he's not getting
it's
double
it's,
digits this season, bro.
it's like two and a bit. No, double digits. He will definitely hit double digits in all comps this season.
No, 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 no. Don't give me the all comps. We're here to talk about the Prem.
I mean, how many Prem games has he played? Tell me how many Prem games Martial's
I
played.
don't know, 612. Scored
No,
about
this season.
15. Man
This
said this
season.
season, like, say he's actually played that many. No, I
Exactly.
know, I know he has his injury crisis and stuff. I don't know. I just don't think he's the same guy anymore.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Ten Hag definitely does, so we'll see.
Yeah, Ten Hag believes
Um,
in him, but he has no choice because he's not going to be playing Ronaldo now, is he?
no, but he's been saying that about Martial since he got here, pretty much. So yeah. But yeah, we in the first half we had a few chances in the second half. I know you brought up the McTominay one, but to be fair, in the second half, once we took off, in my problem with us is that in the second half we almost surrendered the ball and just like it's almost like we made a subconscious decision to play on the counter attack. And dare I say it, Elanga was sort of a huge part of that. And once he took off Elanga, we lost a lot of our threat going forward. And then when
Well,
he
you
brought
rating
on
my guy
Garnacho,
now.
Langa is still just overall just not good enough. But it doesn't mean he doesn't offer energy and pace.
I must give the guy
But
time, man.
I mean,
There's a player there, man. There's a player there.
he's been
I
playing
like
he's been
Alanga in it. I like
he's
him.
been he's been playing in the first team for like what 8 to 10 months now. I mean, it doesn't take long for you to
Don't
see what a
don't
player
say
is.
8 to 10 months like he's playing regularly in the first team. That's harsh.
Yeah, but it doesn't take long for you to see what a player can offer. I mean, usually you can pretty much determine a player's ceiling after you watch them about 5, 6 times. Like it's not too hard. I mean, some players can surprise you here and there, but for majority of players, you pretty much you can. It doesn't take long for you to see what a player is capable of. But um, as I was saying, we lost a bit in the second half. Obviously, they brought on Dan James, and we know what Dan James is.
Man scored.
He's just, huh?
So then he scored.
Yeah, Dan James is just Sonic, bro. Like he's just quick. Like so many moments in that game where he ran past players and then did
Justin
nothing
Martinez though.
and then did nothing. Yeah, but you do that to anyone, literally. Like,
I don't know.
did you?
Justin Martinez though.
No,
Shrugged
but
him off and just paced him.
did you see? Did you see when he kicked? He literally just kicked the ball ahead. Martinez, knowing that Dan James is faster than him, Martinez is trying to stretch an arm out to sort of shift him, but Dan James has just ran. He's just ran.
Shrugged him off and ran past him, bro.
He's just ran around him. But bro, what can you do? He's quick. The Brad's quicker than you. What can you do?
Like, you defend better, man.
No. Like,
but like turning to Dan James. Yo, also, yeah, why is my man not celebrating? Like, say you man did disrespect the you. I would have done the knee slide, cartwheel, Robbie Keane, shoot my guns, bro.
You know why? You know why you can't celebrate? Because we sold him to Leeds, and now Leeds have loaned him to Fulham. That shows you that his career is already.
Fulham are doing better than Leeds.
Yeah, Fulham are doing better than Leeds, but at the point at which they loaned him, Fulham was seen as the team that just got promoted. So let's pop the brakes. He's not in a position to be wilding out once he scores against United.
I can't lie, I was baffled when I saw him get loaned to Fulham. I was like, what?
Why?
But Leeds need wingers.
What did he do for Leeds?
That's not what he did for Leeds, but like, he just signed to you.
Yeah, but they've brought in Aronson, they've brought in Sinisterra, they've got Notto, they've got Harrison. They don't need him. But anyway,
I hear that.
Literally, but that we pretty much saw what Dan James is in that game. He's just a pace merchant. Anytime when he ran past Martinez, he did nothing with the end products, bro. That's pretty much who he is. So I mean, for people to think they can clown United for him scoring, bro, it is what it is.
He scored the same amount of goals. He scored the same amount of goals as Ronaldo this season.
I mean, you saying that doesn't affect me. I'm not the CR7 standing in the room right now, so But anyway, we got the win. Garnacho got the goal. I don't know how he got at the end of that pass. It was simply just down to determination. And yeah, we got the win before the World Cup. Great for us. Great for the manager. Onwards we go.
I hear that. No, well done. You got your measly 3 points. I know you lot are fighting for top 4. It's cute. Yeah, no, obviously we'll wrap up quickly of the top 6 teams with Arsenal. Another routine win, of course, over Wolves 2-0. Odegaard at the brace. Odegaard at the double. Get me. Don't disregard Odegaard. Show me. Now I'm playing. Obviously, it's a good time to be a gunner right now. Like, I'm loving life. I'm loving football. Let's enjoy this World Cup. Don't care who wins. Just want to see my players safe, rested, and back under Arteta's fingers, ready to kickball again in late deck and early Jan. But I was actually watching Black Panther in it. I was at the cinema channel, so I watched the first half on my phone in the cinema, and then I had to concentrate on the film for the guys with the wife and that. Moms, bro, I was there like. But second half,
I can't lie though. Cinema network is terrible though. I don't know.
Nah, bro, my data was moving good in there. Not an ounce of lag. I'm not even gonna shout out the streaming site I use. I don't too many people to start corrupting the thing. But yo, I was good, bro. HD, no lag, no delay. Like, yo, it wasn't for the misses. I would have watched the full game. But I had to watch the Black Panther. Go watch Black Panther if you for big films, hard still. But yeah, I saw the highlights. I was happy with that. I heard we played decent in the first half and okay in the second half, but we got the win. We're away. Okay, cool. Wolves are not on it this season, but man, don't just go to the Molyneux and turn them over. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's still that side that can give you a bit of a game. Word to City, they know better than anyone else. So yeah, I'm happy with that, man. And then for City to drop points as well, to go into the World Cup 5 points clear, and albeit 14 games in, after 5 more games, we've played everyone in the league, and we've lost once, and quite a few wins were away. I'm confident that we're getting top four. That's what I want. I know there's Arsenal fans shouting about winning the league, and yeah, enjoy the moment, believe. Of course, I get it, the hype, it's nice, but we're not winning the league. But top four will be lovely. Top four will be lovely. But yeah, well done, Arsenal, man. Keep shining. A couple of things I want to talk about. I know time's going quick. Um, Obviously, World Cup's about to kick off. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be doing some stuff regarding the World Cup. Um, so that should be a good one. I'll be rooting for Senegal. That's that's the team that I want to see lift the trophy still. First African nation as well. That'd be lovely to see. What about you, Matt? Who do you want to see lift the cup?
Yeah, so obviously Nigeria didn't qualify. Um, don't don't know, don't understand how. To be fair, I'm not even too fond of our team anyway. I know some of our players are getting a lot of buzz around Europe, but I'm not convinced by the squad anyway, and the manager as well. So that's we can put that to one side. So I don't. I mean, obviously England. I mean, with me and England have always had a very sort of complicated relationship, very sort of on and off relationship. You know, sometimes I feel like I want to support them. Other times, I'm like, when you see the aftermath of the Euros, I'm like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want to.
just that's what put me off still.
But you still, there's a part of you that still sort of feels that you have to represent. So, I always still sort of have a soft spot for England as much as I may try to sort of hide it. Um,
Yeah, the
just
women's team,
for
they're
me,
great.
what would you say?
Yeah, the England women's team, yeah, they're great.
But for me, I'd love to see Argentina lift it. I'd love to see Messi lift it. I think
What?
if
Hey, this United fan talking about Ronaldo's up.
yeah, but I don't support Ronaldo though. I support Manchester United. Um, for me, if Messi lifts it, I mean, I already believe he's the go anyway. But if he manages to lift it, it would cement him as it, in my opinion. So I'd love to see him do it. But I think Brazil will do it though.
I'd
I
rather
think
see
Brazil.
Portugal lift it.
Nah, no
I'd rather
way.
see Portugal lift it over Argentina any day of the week.
Why?
Ronaldo, man. It's the show for the haters. And then
Yeah, yeah,
secondly,
I don't. Yeah.
Brazil. Yeah, but we know what Brazil is, bro. It's a bunch of individuals. They don't play. They don't play together. Nice.
Nah, but no. That's one thing you can't say about Brazil. As even historically, the star players have always found a way to gel, and
No,
that's
I don't believe that. And we saw
that's
that with the with
the
the
reason why
Germany
they haven't
game
been the reason
when
why
they
they
when they
haven't
got
been good.
slapped by Germany, bro. Germany were playing as a team. Brazil were
No,
on some individual thing.
no, but the reason why they weren't good, they haven't been good in those past few seasons, is because they haven't had great players. They've been getting carried by Neymar. It's been Neymar or nothing.
I don't know if I agree with that.
That in that 2014 World Cup, I think that their forward players, I think it was William, Neymar, Oscar, and I think they were playing some guy called Fred up front. Bro, it's like the team after the years after the sort of like the Ronaldinhos and them
They
and
still
like
had Marcelo. They still had Thiago Silva. They had Eva Alisson and Edison in the net. They still had Danny Alves. They had man them there though. I don't know. I just feel like Brazil don't play that kind of football where they're like, oh, these men are in cohesion. They're a team. I feel like they're still.
I mean you speak about wanting Portugal to win it. They're the team that don't play with cohesion.
Mm,
Portugal do not play with cohesion. Like the weird thing with Portugal is in 2016 when they won the Euros, on paper their squad wasn't great. In fact, they actually won that Euros because of their defense. Their defense pretty much, to be fair, the luck of the draw and the defense. The defense pretty much was like rock solid in the knockout stages, and you know they banded together as a team and really sort of like got dirty victories. Not dirty victories, but a lot of penalty shootout victories. A couple of
Yeah, no,
extra
here.
time
I don't think
victories.
they
But
didn't win a single game in 90 minutes, did they?
I think they won one, which was against Wales in the semi final. But in as the squad, ironically, as the squad of players, the level of players has improved. They've actually gotten worse cohesively. Like the team just is not. Maybe it's the manager. Maybe the manager has the David Moyes thing. Maybe he could only achieve with players that he wasn't expected to achieve with. But now that he actually has a high, like Portugal has 2 11s, but for some reason on the pitch they just lack cohesion.
You know what it is for me though. We have to also remember as well that in the previous competitions we've seen Portugal do well. It's because of Ronaldo, fam. Ronaldo got them to the final.
In
Man's bagging
Euros.
hat tricks against Spain. Man scored in the semi-finals. Man's bagging, like man's
Wait,
doing
in the
his job.
Euros.
Yes, bro. He
In
bagged
the Euros,
there.
he didn't get them to the final.
He got them to the year they won it. It was because of him, bro. They were
No, it
2-0
wasn't.
down. They would have lost 2-0 to Spain. My man's got a
That
hat
was the
trick.
World
G.
Cup. You're conflating the World Cup with the Euros.
Are you sure?
2016 Euros, they came third in the group, but then remember they changed the rules and said
Yeah,
that
yeah. So they
teams
could
that finish
qualify.
third can go
But either
through.
way,
So they finished.
Ronaldo bagged goal. He even bagged in the semis. He got them to the final. You cannot tell me Ronaldo was not bagging, bro. He was bagging. Don't let me type in
In,
his stats right now.
wait, in the Euros,
Yes, G.
he scored 3 goals in the whole tournament.
Bro, but he got them into the finals, G.
He didn't get them into the finals. The
So
reason
so scoring a
they,
brace in the semis is not getting a team into the finals.
he didn't score a brace in the semi. He scored 1 goal in the semi.
One or two, three, bro. His
He
goal got
scored.
them into
Look,
the final, my guy.
Ronaldo scored 1 goal in the semi against Wales. Now, let me tell you this. Yeah, it like how the way you know that Ronaldo didn't carry Portugal to that Euros. Renato Sanchez was their player of the tournament. He was the one that won Young Player of the Tournament. Ronaldo didn't win Player of the Tournament. Ronaldo was not. Ronaldo was not he was not the star of the tournament. Ironically, even though Portugal won it in 2018, where you're talking about he bagged a hat trick, that was actually to draw against Spain in the group stage, and then they got knocked out in the last 16 to Uruguay. So I don't know what the point you're trying to make with Ronaldo and the Euros.
No, this is the point
But
I'm trying to
I
make.
think you
Before
didn't say.
Ronaldo, Portugal were not relevant.
Wait, Kingslee. Hold on. You mean Ronaldo before Ronaldo period, or before Ronaldo in like the last like in like the
In the last
5 years?
30 years, Ronaldo has made Portugal great.
Okay, Kingslee, let me just sort of educate you a little bit.
No. I don't need educating, bro.
No, you do.
I don't need educating.
You do.
Ronaldo has done bits for that Portuguese team.
No, you do. And I'm not denying that at all. I'm not denying that at all. I just want the facts to be presented in regards to his
Okay, answer me this question then. Who's the Portuguese top scorer?
Okay, he is. But let me just
Okay
clarify.
then, bro. So how are you gonna tell me that Ronaldo didn't make this Portugal team, bro? Man's the top scorer. If he's not there, you don't see Portugal. You don't see them, bro. His
Are you
goals
gonna let me,
have made Portugal.
can I finish?
Nah, you can't finish. We're moving on. No, I'm
Wait, hold on.
joking. I'm joking.
So in 2004, the Euros 2004, Portugal made the final of the Euros in 2004. They had the likes of Figo, they had Semao, they had Deco, they had
And Ronaldo
Menez
still scored 2 goals.
in the final.
No, in 2004. In the Euros. He still got 2 goals. In
Yeah, I
his young
think
age.
no. I think he scored a couple of goals in the tournament, but he wasn't the main man heading into that tournament for Portugal. They had played that. You know, the unlucky thing for Ronaldo was the time at which he began to ascend as a footballer was when the Portuguese talent was evaporating. That was when Decos and Figos and Menezes were all retiring. That
You're
was
proving
when
my point.
he started to ascend. No, wait. So in his prime years, yes, he was the only one Portugal had. Like, but in those years, he wasn't able to do anything because it was literally just him. They weren't doing much. I mean, I think in the Euro 2012, I think they got to the quarterfinals, but he wasn't able to do much by himself. But in the Euros that they actually won in 2016, ironically, he wasn't that great in the tournament. Go back
In
and
which
watch
in
that
which year?
Euro
Which tournament? Which tournament? Which
in
tournament?
2016.
He
Ronaldo was
wasn't that
not.
great. Are you
He
serious?
wasn't. He was not. Renato Sanchez, 18 or 19-year-old Renato Sanchez was the player. Was Portugal's player of the tournament. So, and now, and look at this is why football can be so funny. Now that Ronaldo's at the end, now the Portuguese talent now has started to rise, and they've still not been able to achieve anything with the increased talent.
Until Portugal win a trophy without Ronaldo, I will say Portugal are bigger. Till then, sorry, my friend.
To be fair, I've heard some Portugal fans say that they don't want him to start in the upcoming World Cup. That's a very
Yeah, that's only because they've United ruining him.
Nah, I've been hearing this for years, bro. I've been hearing this from Euros.
Nah. Because even at Juve, man was still top goal scorer in Serie A. So man can't be turning around saying I don't want him to start. Who else is going to be bagging goals? Name me another Portuguese number 9 who's going to be bagging.
Well, they've got Andre Gomez, who's decent.
Name me another Portuguese number 9 who's going to be bagging. Man's talking about Gomez, bro.
I just named you one.
He's an average striker at best, though.
It doesn't mean even
he hasn't accomplished 20% of Ronaldo. What Ronaldo's accomplished.
How do you rate Miroslav Klose, bro? Club career wise.
I'm not here to talk about German legends.
But yet for Germany, he always managed to score, and what are the chances he beat R9's World Cup goal scoring record? So, bro, sometimes it's not just about your profile or your name. Sometimes certain countries play certain players that just fit. Some things just fit for countries. That's why
there's countless times, bro.
International football is not always the same.
I've seen Ronaldo get last minute winners, get hat trick braces for Portugal. Countless games, bro.
But is that in major tournaments
for the club? It's in major tournaments and it's in friendlies.
Okay,
it don't matter.
Okay.
It don't matter. It's both. At the end of the day, he's bagging in both. Whether it's the Nations League, whether it's the Euros, whether it's the World Cup.
When has that happened recently?
What do you mean? When has that happened recently? He was bagging for them in the Nations League. Just gone.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Did they get to the Nations League semis?
What would they got? He bagged for them.
That's the question. They didn't get to the. They didn't get to the.
He still bagged.
They didn't get anywhere.
He still bagged.
Not get anywhere. Look, at the end of the day, this was not a Ronaldo. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. When I encounter people like Kingslee who aren't honest in regards to certain facts.
Let me remember. That's 2020. He got 5.
That's why.
And in 2020 he got 5.
This is why it always comes across as if I'm a Ronaldo hater. Trust me,
listen,
I am not a Ronaldo hater.
The oldest
Ronaldo
the oldest age. The oldest age Ronaldo was, Euro 2020. He still bagged 5.
How many penalties were there?
Oh my day! It's the ball still goes in the net, whether you tap it in, whether you score a penalty, or whether you shoot from 50 yards. It still counts as one goal. It counts as one more goal in your stats.
Yes.
I don't care. You have to score the penalty. I want to hear how many penalties did he score.
Yeah,
he could have missed. And then once he missed, you're saying he's crap.
You're right. You are right. But the thing about bringing stats to me, Kingslee, is stats tell you what happened. They don't tell you how. So let's not act like we don't need to still watch football. Football is not played on a spreadsheet. So at the end of the day, Ronaldo in the Euros 2020 was not good. Go and watch his performances. Portugal as a team were not good. The first game against Hungary, I don't even know how they came away with the win, but somehow they did. And then
Ronaldo's influence.
When they met Belgium, who, to be fair, isn't the greatest Belgium team. Like the Belgium team, they have the same set of players and they're all getting old. And yet they still couldn't beat Belgium. So the Portugal team is lacking cohesion. You spoke about the Brazil team.
I think that was harsh.
No, they do lack cohesion.
About the Belgium team.
As in, they have the same set of players who are also getting older.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like the Belgium. I know they're getting older, but you can't move in and say Belgium with declining.
They are declining.
I wouldn't say just yet. England
They are.
England play Belgium. Belgium win.
I don't even know about that.
Bro, England couldn't even beat Italy, bro. Italy didn't even make it to the World Cup.
But Italy also beat Belgium in the Euros. Italy knocked Belgium out in the quarterfinal, bro. So I don't know what you're talking about. That Italy
Nah,
team
nah,
just
nah.
fell off after the Euros. But
Man, I just hating on Portugal still.
bro, Portugal have 2 11s. Like they have two. Portugal with the set of players they have can create two quality teams. But I don't know whether it's the manager, whether it's the players. Something just isn't right with that team. Now, the level of players that they have are good enough that they can turn it on, and that's what will be interesting to see. But you heard me say it here. They've got Uruguay in their group. Don't be surprised if Uruguay beat them.
Don't be surprised when Portugal get further than Argentina.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
And then when they do, yeah, the debate's done.
What with Messi and Ronaldo?
The debate's done with me and you
About what?
about Ronaldo.
But what do I do? What's my point on
If
Ronaldo?
Ronaldo bags more in the World Cup than Messi, I don't want to hear you come for Ronaldo. I don't want to hear you come for him.
No. But see, this is the thing.
He's going to turn up for this
And
World
and
Cup.
this
You
is the
know
thing.
why? You know why? Because when you piss off legends, when you piss off goats, yeah, and say they're not good enough, they perform. And I'm telling you now, Ronaldo at this World Cup, all the stick he's getting, he's going to prove to the world why United are idiots.
I mean, look, it's football. That's the thing. Anything can happen in football. And it's funny you mentioned Messi as well. Because Ronaldo's story with Portugal has almost been the opposite of Messi's story with Argentina. Messi with Argentina, they had star names that all played in similar positions, but their squad was so top heavy from like the late 2000s to the early 2010s. They had star names, but they all wanted to play in the same position. You had Dybala, you had Higuain, you had Tevez, you had Aguero. All of these guys, star names, but all play in the same position, and they never had balance in the squad. Now they don't actually have as many sort of star names, but their squad is balanced, and that's why they've gone 36 or 37 games unbeaten. So we'll see what Argentina can
Yeah,
do.
I hear that. I hear that, but they're not really been tested, man. That's what
What,
we
in the
need to
37
remember as
games?
well. Argentina, they haven't really been tested. That's what we remember as well.
In the 37 games.
Yeah.
But the 37 games it spans across the time that they won the Copa America as well. They played
Again.
Brazil, they played Uruguay, they played Colombia, all in the
Yeah,
Copa
these
America.
South American teams are not gassing me, bro.
I mean, I don't know where you've been, bro, but
What do you mean, bro?
South America is
Except for Brazil,
it's on the rise.
Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Chile, they're not doing anything in the World Cup. Let's be real, bro. We know it's a European dominated competition.
Okay, we'll see when Uruguay play Portugal.
We will.
Uruguay, bearing in mind, Uruguay knocked out Portugal 2018. Let's not forget.
What I'm saying is Europe is cleared of South America.
England could only beat Colombia on penalties in 2018
Bro,
as well.
Europe is clear of South America.
Now we'll see.
So you genuinely believe South America are more competitive than Europe?
Obviously, because Europe just have more countries, but I think the problem with South America is the countries that are good can beat any European team on their day.
Except for Brazil and Argentina, I don't believe that.
This is the thing with a country like Uruguay. Uruguay can beat a Germany. Uruguay can beat a Netherlands.
Yeah, in a friendly, maybe behind closed doors.
Nah.
And Netherlands, nah.
They can.
Uruguay ain't beating Netherlands.
They can.
We'll see in it. We'll see. World Cup's gonna be here. We're gonna be doing our podcast. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll do the predictions and all that. But yeah, time is going quick. Look at the wrap things up soon. Wanted to quickly go over the England selection. But just before we do the England selection, close there. Obviously, as I said, the first 14 games, 15 for some teams of the season has come to a close. As a United fan, choose for me, yeah, your favorite game and your worst game.
As in for United.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. My personal favorite and the best are two different. So my favorite game that we've played this season was the Liverpool game. I just don't, maybe it's just the United fan in me. I just don't have a lot of love for Liverpool. So beating them at Old Trafford, for me, that's been my best moment, my favourite moment. Our best game as a whole, 90 minutes, was definitely by far the Tottenham game.
Yeah, what about your worst
Worst, Brentford.
team? Yeah, that was funny still. Um, yeah.
No, worst on paper was Brentford, yeah. But the one that annoyed me the most was the Aston Villa one, just because I just think we were on a good run, and then we looked like we didn't come prepared for the game. So that annoyed me, because if we had beaten Aston Villa, I think we might be on the same points as Spurs with one less game played. So yeah,
Coulda,
that's
woulda,
mad.
coulda.
What about you?
Um, well, for me, favorite game, definitely Liverpool, because there's so many hours of us not even scoring against them, and there's so many compe- consecutive matches of them just beating us up. So to get the win, to solidify top spot, to show people that statement win, yeah, that was massive for me. So that was my favorite match. And then the worst match for me would be the Southampton. Even when we lost to you guys, I was happy with the performance. So the worst match for me would be Southampton. So I thought, yeah, we should have came away with the 3 points there. Now it would be 7 points clear. You know what I mean? So yeah, that one was a bit frustrating. But yeah, quickly talk about the England squad. I'm sure all of you have seen the selection, the lineup. Sorry. Yeah, the selection. Yeah. Any names surprise you, and any names annoy you?
The funniest thing with this England squad is I remember you saying that obviously Tony should be picked because he offers something different, to Harry Kane. And after you said it that day, I was thinking like, because I'm a big Callum Wilson fan. Like I like Callum Wilson.
Yes, that's because you're a Newcastle fan,
I imagine. But
there.
I was thinking, you said he offers something different than Kane. Does he? What does he do that Kane doesn't do?
Why am I asking me like that? He just offers something different than Kane. Like
He doesn't. He
he
literally
does, bro.
offers. He's almost like he's a younger, probably. I mean, slightly quicker.
Yeah, he's faster. He's quicker. I feel like he's more direct. He's more agile. Like yeah, Tony man. I'd prefer to take him over Wilson. I can't
Because
lie.
what one of the two main things that is sort of praised about Tony's game is his aerial presence and his passing ability for a striker. That's pretty much Harry Kane. So when you talk about offering something, Callum Wilson is actually the one that offers something different. He's the one that can run the channels. He's the one that can sort of carry the ball if you need him to. He's the one that's like, you know, like a completely different profile to
Wilson
them
will play
two.
15
So
minutes against Iran. That's it.
but let's be real. Any striker that gets picked with Harry Kane in the squad is not likely to get a lot of minutes. Calvert-Lewin went to the Euros. We didn't. I don't think. I think he only played against Scotland. Like, there's just it's kind of like a striker going to Tottenham. You're not playing with Kane fit. Um, Ivan Toney just got picked for the friendlies that they played a few weeks ago. He didn't even play friendlies. Like, he literally just got. So I think they said people were making jokes that he got picked for work experience, but he didn't even get any experience. He just got he got a trial in training, and then got dropped for the World Cup squad. So, he can still play for Jamaica if he wants to. The Jamaica slot is, I'm sure, is still open for him. Obviously, but people have said that the problem with Callum Wilson is his injuries, which is true. He does get injured quite a lot, but trust me, Callum Wilson, I've always rated him from his Bournemouth days, what he's been able to do for Newcastle, even with Isak coming in, even though Isak has been injured as well. But I like Wilson, man. In terms of the England squad in general, because it's a 26-man squad, and there's been obvious injuries to the likes of Chilwell and so on, there's no one that can really sort of complain. I mean, Wood-Prowse obviously missed out. Gallagher got picked, but bro, who else? Like Sancho can't argue that he should be picked. I mean, he might think Well, what has Grealish done more than I have this season? But there's Man City tax. Man City are winning. So who can really complain?
Fair enough. For me though, I'd still prefer Tony over Wilson, man. I can't lie.
I
Can't
mean,
lie.
it's
But
fair.
I hear
It's
you. I
fair.
hear what
But
you're saying. I guess Wilson is more different than Kane than Tony is to Kane. So I do agree with that. I guess. Um, but yeah, I guess all the other names, obviously injuries taken into consideration. I mean, I don't know why he still could have. I know Reese has been injured, but there was still concern over Wilson. Like he was injured recently, just getting back into it. I still
mm,
feel like he could have took Reese, you know.
I think the Reece James injury is sort of more certain. I think they know that he ain't playing in like a month or two. So it would have just been a waste of space to take him pretty much.
I'll tell you what a waste of space is taking.
Who I know
I don't. Huh?
I know you're gonna say
You were gonna say?
Maguire.
Let me know when top, bro.
It's Maguire.
Let me. Of course, it's Maguire.
I knew Southgate, bro. Southgate said he's never let the country down, bro. I knew Southgate was gonna take him. He's arguably maybe him and Tyrone Mings could be battling, but out of all the English centre backs, he's arguably the worst in terms of form um, this season. And even scratch this season, the last sort of 12 months probably. But I need to get picked. Like he'd probably start,
Yeah,
bro.
man knew he was gonna get picked, but it's Pete. And
At least Ben White got picked.
if Ben White doesn't start, it's stupid.
Ben White isn't starting.
Then it's stupid, bro. He's in the form of his life. He's top of the table. What more does he have to do? It's
Ben White
stupid.
isn't starting.
It's clearly favourites. It's not about form.
Of course, his favourites. Ben White isn't starting. Well, to
Who
be
do you
fair,
starting right back then? Trippier.
yeah,
But if you want to play out from the back, you need to start Ramsdale and Ben White.
Ramsdale isn't starting either.
If you want to play out from the back, though, these two need to start.
To be fair, Trippier, don't act like Trippier can't play out from the back. Trippier is a very good player.
Ben White's much more agile
Than
and
Trippier.
much more composed on the ball.
I mean, I'm not. I don't. I understand why
And he
he
can
would say
defend
that,
better.
but I don't know if I agree with that though.
He can defend better. He's more agile and he's more composed on the ball. The only thing Trippier has over him is his free kicks, bro.
Nah, but Trippier is just a natural right back. Trippier is more accustomed to playing the position, especially. Let's not forget, he's not gonna play right back. He's playing right wing back. That's Southgate's formation. So that also needs to be
And
factored in as well.
that's even better for Benny then.
No, it means Ben. If Ben is gonna play, he's gonna have to play right centre back.
But three at the back.
Yeah.
So he's saying Shaw, Maguire, White.
See, that's the thing. He hasn't got a lot of left back, so I think Shaw will play wing back.
Like, he might be an idiot and play Saka wing back again.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Saka can't play wing back, bro.
He can. Why not?
He looks lost out there, man. He's used to cut every weekend. He's cutting in.
Well, if he's as good as you say he is, he'll get back in rhythm to taking players down
No,
on
I'm
the
not
outside.
hearing that. Because look at Sterling in wing back. Looks lost.
No, but Sterling, see, this is the thing. Context. Sterling has never played wing back before Chelsea.
Saka didn't play wing back. He played left back. When he was
Yeah,
at
so
Arsenal, he
now
played left back, not
so
wing
he
back.
can play wing back.
Nah.
Bro, Saka is
It
capable.
don't work like that.
They haven't got Chilwell's
Just because
out.
you can play left back or right back. Though. Imagine Wan-Bissaka trying to play right wing back.
Well, Saka and Wan-Bissaka are different, bro. Different. They're different.
I'm just saying, just because you can play right back doesn't mean you can play wing back.
If anything, someone like Saka, who is primarily an attacker, playing wing back will help him because it means his main sort of focus doesn't have to be to defend.
Leave the Ute right wing, man.
I don't know what Southgate will do, because
Who would you prefer to have right wing over Saka right now?
it depends, bro. It depends.
You saw that England Germany game. You saw a difference it made when Saka came on in that right wing. What do you mean?
I remember. I mean, don't overblow it. Like he wasn't like sensational when he came on.
Here, my man. We would have lost the game without Saka coming on that pitch.
Bro, we would have lost the game if not. I mean, Maguire was the only one that put England in a
We're
position.
not, we're not talking about Maguire, bro.
But no, but in all seriousness, yeah, the problem with England's team is that the formation that Southgate wanted, majority of the players he's picking are not accustomed to play in that formation. Pretty much everyone apart from, I mean, every player apart from the defense. Like, I mean, Maguire has obviously played it free at the back, you know, throughout his career. I mean, John Stones for City doesn't do that. Ben White for Arsenal doesn't do that. But I guess the players that have played in England, like Trippier and, you know, Shaw, they've played the 5 at the back system. But the attackers don't play. They're not used to that system, especially the midfielders. So I don't know.
We've gone a few games with 3 at the back, and Ben White's been in the 3.
Arteta's played 3 at the back.
A couple of times this season, still.
Arteta's played 3 at the back.
A couple of times this season, we've gone 3 at the back.
As in gone 3 or started with 3?
Gone 3. There's one game we started, but he's gone 3, yeah.
Okay, you know what? To be fair to Ben White, he was playing 3 at the back at Brighton. So, you know, to be fair, he's quite experienced in the system. I take that back. But I just think, like for Foden, right?
You know, I think as well with England, with the players, I feel like majority of them play really well for their club, but not as well for their country.
So you're
Foden being the main one.
I think with Foden, there isn't a very great understanding of what he is,
Trust.
and that's why
I play him centre mid though.
I for England I would
100% I play centre mid.
For City, he can play out wide because of the way City are constructed, because of the profile.
He doesn't need to be in that midfield for City.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be.
He don't need to be there.
For a different.
But for England, he needs to be in that centre mid.
Yeah, but it's like with anything though. Like, would you not? If Foden came to Arsenal, would he play out wide? No.
Exactly. I don't want to see Mount either. In that midfield, I want to see Foden, Rice, and Bellingham.
I know you said this last time. Southgate will never ever do that.
That's a lovely midfield. Look deep the balance there. Rice is not going to push up. Going to stay on the back, chill. Foden will be the energy guy trying to take players on. Bellingham will just be that nice box to box, keeps the ball neat and tidy, efficient. It's perfect. It's actually perfect.
Southgate would never do that. You know the thing with Southgate, especially because they've had success being pragmatic and sort of conservative, he's not going to revert away from that style.
Yeah, I hear that. And that's what gets me, because I know he's gonna do the same thing in this World Cup, and I know for somehow he's gonna get to the quarters of the semis. That's what's annoying. That is what's so annoying.
England have thrived, in my opinion, playing in transition, sitting back and absorbing pressure, and scoring by set pieces. That's been their formula pretty much in the last Euros and the last World Cup. So that's not changing.
I wouldn't say scoring by set pieces as much.
Oh no, bro.
No, because look at the England Germany game, Switzerland game. I don't think.
Wait, in the World Cup and the Euros.
No, the Euros. Not the World Cup. Yeah, I hear you. But Euros, I think Euros they played better than they did in the World Cup. I don't think that 2018 World Cup
in the Euros against when they beat was it Ukraine? Didn't they score like 3 set pieces? Bro, like half of their goals are coming from set pieces in tournaments. So I mean, to be fair, against Denmark,
lucky though, they was lucky to get the win against Denmark. Denmark could have went either way.
Yeah, but yeah, so Southgate he's not going to revert from a formula that has kind of worked for him. Dare I say it?
Of course, he's not.
So, but
I'm just glad that Phillips is not there. He can only play one DM now because Phillips ain't there.
No, but he took him, and Phillips did play against Chelsea in the.
Wait, he took Phillips.
Yeah, of course he took Phillips.
Nah, he's mucking it. He's mucking it.
But you know,
no, he's mucking it. He's mucking it, bro.
One thing we need to consider though, even though the formula of being pragmatic and sort of conservative and playing in transition has worked for England, Germany is probably the best team they played in the whole of the 2 tournaments.
Yeah, 100%.
England have got very lucky with the draw. So whether that style of play will work against better teams is yet to be seen.
No, I agree with you. I do think both routes were easier. But Phillips, bro, what? How can you tell me about taking players to Phillips' space when the man's taking? What has Phillips done to warrant a place in the squad? It's not about form, man. It's just about who you play for and favoritism.
Same thing with Maguire. Never let the country down. That's the mantra pretty much.
That's ridiculous. But yo, people, we're approaching the hour and a half mark. We're gonna wrap things up. We will be back. Uh, hopefully Friday. Obviously, we'll see what Matt's saying in it. But yeah, we're back Friday.
Black
Um,
Friday.
yeah, we're gonna delve more into into the World Cup. We're gonna delve more into that Ronaldo interview. We didn't get to talk on that too much. So we're gonna talk about that. Probably talk a little bit more about the Prem and the break. But there's definitely loads to talk about regarding the World Cup. So thank you for listening, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get the channel popping, and we'll see you on Friday. Have a good couple of days till then.